Is this the best Jordan 1 low to drop this year? I think it might be. What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm reviewing the upcoming Air Jordan 1 Low Powder Blue. But before we dive into things, I want to give a huge thank you to Sole Premise for supporting the channel. My Sole Premise bag is my go-to whenever I need to travel and bring a pair of sneakers, or 5. Sole Premise makes some of the best sneaker-focused bags out there. They come in a ton of different styles, colors, and materials, so no matter what kind of bag you're looking for, Sole Premise has you covered. And actually, right now, while you're watching this video, I'm on a trip, and I brought my Sole Premise bag with me so that I could bring 5 pairs of sneakers. Well, actually, in this case, it's 4 pairs of sneakers. I got 2 pairs in the front, 2 pairs in the back, and then also just a bunch of unreleased APTHCRY socks, just in case I need more socks. And one of the best things about Sole Premise bags is that they're TSA approved, so you can bring them onto the airplane with you rather than having to check them underneath. Actually, that reminds me, we're about to take off, so let me put the bag up. Right up there. It's a green screen. So if you would like to check out Sole Premise for yourself, make sure to click the link in the top of the description below and use my code SETH for 40% off your entire order. So Jordan 1 hype has really died down this year, and I'm not sure exactly why, because there's been a lot of really great Jordan 1 colorways dropping over the last 6 to 8 months. And I'm not just talking about Jordan 1 highs, I'm also talking about lows. We've had some of the best Air Jordan 1 low colorways to drop in a long time, and they all dropped this year. And in my opinion, even including the Travis Scott 1 lows, this is the best colorway of an Air Jordan 1 low to drop all year. So if you're looking to grab a pair of the Air Jordan 1 low powder blues, they have already released overseas and in the UK. However, they are releasing this month on September 28th in the United States for a retail price of $130. Which, man, I gotta be honest, feels steep for these. That's a lot for a Jordan 1 low. In fact, all of the other Jordan 1 lows that have released earlier this year were cheaper. But unfortunately, that is the retail price of these powder blue lows and probably the retail price of Jordan 1 lows moving forward. The good news is though, if you miss out on a pair of these on release day, or maybe you want to grab a pair of these early, at least early in the United States, the resale price of this shoe is not that crazy. In fact, I think I grabbed my pair for around $190 or $200. And of course, if you do want to grab a pair of these, I've made sure to leave an affiliate link to GOAT in the description below. But before we get any farther into the powder blue ones themselves, let's first take a look at the box. So no, the box is not that different. You've got your standard black and red Nike box. You've got the size tag on the side of the box, which is sort of the Air Jordan 1 low size tag. Air Jordan 1 highs come with that thin white size tag. As you can see, I grabbed a size 9 from GOAT, and the official colorway of this shoe is white, dark powder blue, black. Now I will say there is one thing that's pretty different and interesting about this packaging, and it's not the box. Inside the box you'll find this much smaller cardboard container, and on the back of the container it says move to 0, and you'll notice if you look at the front of the container it actually holds the laces. Now based on the branding, it looks like this is something that Jordan Brand and Nike are trying to do to reduce the plastic waste when it comes to packaging their sneakers. And I gotta be honest, not only do I like the way that this packaging looks, but it also makes the entire package feel more premium. But getting into the sneaker itself, I've got to say that these powder blue Air Jordan 1 lows have some of the best material quality that we've seen from an Air Jordan 1 low, at least a mainline Air Jordan 1 low, in a while. Now don't get me wrong, it's not incredible leather, it's not amazing leather by any stretch of the imagination, and it's probably not even great leather, but it feels better than most of the other leather used on Air Jordan 1 lows recently. So starting off around the toe, you've got this black tumbled leather on the mudguard, which feels pretty soft to the touch, and I've got to admit, I do like the way it feels. Moving up from there, you've got this white perforated leather in the center of the toe, which again is not incredible, but it's definitely not bad. And then continuing up on the shoe, on the eye stay of the sneaker, you've got more of that black tumbled leather, and then weaving through that tumbled leather, you've got these black flat laces. Now, like I said before, this shoe does come with an extra set of laces in this cardboard container. In the case of this colorway, it comes in a matching powder blue that matches all the other powder blue accents on the shoe, but personally, I think I'm going to stick with the black laces because I just think they look better in the shoe. It is nice to know that I have options though. Then underneath the laces, you've got your black nylon tongue, and at the top of the tongue, you've got your Nike Air tag. Now in this colorway, the Nike Air comes embroidered in a matching powder blue. Moving inside the sneaker, you've got this black fabric mesh sock liner, and rounding off the inside of the shoe, you've got a white insole with the Nike Air text in blue. Now as far as sizing and fit, the Air Jordan 1 low powder blue fits pretty much true to size, which seems to be the case for most other pairs of Air Jordan 1 lows and most other pairs of Air Jordan 1s. I had absolutely no issues whatsoever when it came to the sizing of this shoe. However, if you've never tried on a pair of Air Jordan 1s before, I do suggest trying on a pair before you buy this pair just to make sure that you're grabbing the right size for you. Continuing back in the shoe, you get to this white leather midfoot panel, which is your standard white Air Jordan 1 leather, and on top of that you've got this black leather Nike swoosh. Finally, moving around to the heel of the shoe, you've got these 2 powder blue leather panels, and on the top panel you've got the Wings logo pressed into the heel in black. Now, while this colorway has been nicknamed the UNC Air Jordan 1 Lows, in reality, it's not exactly the same blue. It's actually a much more vibrant blue, and honestly, I think I kind of prefer it. But for that reason, it makes sense why they're naming this shoe the Powder Blues versus the UNCs, because again, it's just not the same color. Then moving down on the shoe, you get to this bright white rubber midsole, and finally rounding off the look, you've got this powder blue rubber outsole. So like I was saying at the beginning of the video, I think this might be my favorite Air Jordan 1 Low colorway of 2022. That includes the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Lows, that includes the pink and black Air Jordan 1 Lows that just released recently, which I also really loved, and it's just one of those colorways that while it isn't an OG colorway, it's got that sort of OG color blocking, and it's got that pop of color that draws your eye to the shoe. I just love the way it looks, and it's incredibly easy to wear. And like I said, if you can't grab a pair of these for retail, which honestly shouldn't be that hard, you shouldn't have to pay that much over retail to grab a pair of these for resale. And I know summer's over, unfortunately, which means that low top Air Jordan 1s won't be as popular as they were like a month ago, but this colorway will still work in the winter, and it's one of those shoes that you can really wear all year round. But that pretty much wraps up my entire review of the upcoming Air Jordan 1 Low Powder Blues. Now, I would love to know your thoughts on this shoe and whether you're planning to grab a pair of these for yourself when they finally release at the end of this month. Once again, if you would like to check out Sole Premise for yourself, make sure to click the link in the top of the description below and use my code Seth for 40% off. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.